Let's be real, if you had to be dropped in the middle of nowhere, you'd probably choose land over the open ocean any day. Even the emptiest desert feels safer than the dark, cold expanse of water stretching to the horizon with no end in sight. There's something about the ocean, especially the deep sea, that stirs a primal fear within us. It's like an ancient, instinctual alarm that's just impossible to ignore. I bet that just hearing this and imagining the scenario, you're even starting to feel a bit uneasy, right? Well, it's not without reason. The ocean has always been a place of mystery and danger, filled with creatures adapted to hunt in ways we can barely comprehend. Now imagine being in the middle of the Indian Ocean, the most dangerous ocean on Earth today. Here, you're surrounded by some of the world's most treacherous currents and storms, and the haunting presence of some of the most dangerous marine predators. The Indian Ocean is probably the last place you'd want to end up stranded in the middle of. But if you think that's bad, you haven't seen anything yet. What we're about to uncover is a world far more hostile, oceans with giant, monstrous predators lurking at every depth, with creatures built to kill and adapted to a world where survival meant outlasting the most powerful hunters in history. Today we're diving back to the late Cretaceous period, where the oceans were far, far worse than anything we know today. The Cretaceous period, roughly 145 to 66 million years ago, was the final chapter in the age of dinosaurs. But while massive reptiles like Tyrannosaurus rex and Triceratops ruled the land, a different set of creatures dominated the oceans. At this time, Earth's continents were shifting toward their modern positions, creating shallow, warm seas across much of the planet. These seas were a paradise for marine life, with vast ecosystems brimming with food, making them a prime hunting ground for predators. The late Cretaceous oceans were no ordinary seas. They were warm, teeming with life, and filled with giants who all played their role in one of the most dangerous ecosystems to ever exist. Unlike today, where apex predators are few, the Cretaceous oceans were filled with creatures adapted to hunting, ambushing, and outmaneuvering each other. It was a kill or be killed world where survival depended on speed, strength, and cunning. Let's start with the most iconic marine predator of the late Cretaceous, which, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're already familiar with, the Mosasaurus. Imagine a giant swimming Komodo dragon the size of a whale with a tapered snout, rough skin, and four flippers that glided through the water with incredible speed. This is the story of the Mosasaurus, the largest and most dominant of the mosasaurs, a group of seagoing reptiles that thrived during the late Cretaceous period. Mosasaurus was a massive marine lizard, often described as a blend of monitor lizards and orcas. Originally thought to reach lengths of 17 to 18 meters based on a skull-to-body ratio of 1 to 10, recent studies have revised this estimate. New findings suggest a more plausible maximum length of 10 meters, although some researchers argue it could have grown up to 13 meters. Remarkably, Prehistoric Planet even considers the possibility of Mosasaurus reaching lengths of 15 meters and weights of up to 15 metric tons. This apex predator was not just a giant, it was an agile hunter, with a streamlined body adapted for life in the water. Equipped with double-hinged jaws, mosasaurs could swallow prey whole thanks to their flexible skull structure. They had 4 types of teeth, including specialized pterygoid teeth in the roof of their mouths designed to grip and maneuver prey. Mosasaurus hoffmanni, for instance, sported 2 premaxillary teeth and numerous serrated maxillary and dentary teeth, ideal for cutting flesh. Like modern lizards, mosasaurs likely possessed forked tongues to help detect chemical cues in the water, allowing them to locate prey and assess potential rivals. This highly developed chemosensory system was crucial for their survival. Unlike most reptiles, which are ectothermic or cold-blooded, mosasaurs are believed to have been endothermic, capable of generating their own body heat. This adaptation allowed them to remain active hunters in colder waters, giving them an edge over their ectothermic competitors. Mosasaurus employed a unique swimming style reminiscent of modern-day fish, using a subcarangiform motion that involved rapid oscillation of their crescent-shaped tails. This tail structure enabled them to reach astonishing speeds of up to 48.3 kilometers per hour in just 1 second, making them one of the fastest marine predators of their time. Unlike sharks, which rely on a rapid, repetitive biting style, the Mosasaurus was an ambush predator. I know, that's pretty wild considering how massive it was, but it's true. As a skilled ambush predator, Mosasaurus relied on its speed and stealth to catch unsuspecting prey. Its dark, non-reflective skin likely aided in camouflage, allowing it to blend seamlessly with the ocean depths. Mosasaurus had a varied diet, feasting on fish like Zephactinus, smaller mosasaurs, and even juvenile dinosaurs like the young T-Rex. This adaptability made it an opportunistic predator, always on the lookout for its next meal. Fossils of Mosasaurus have been discovered across the globe, from North America's inland sea to the warm waters of the Tethys Ocean. They thrived in diverse ecosystems, adapting to various climates, including temperate and polar environments. This versatility allowed them to become the ultimate marine predator, dominating the oceans until the mass extinction event that marked the end of the Cretaceous period. They likely preferred shallow coastal waters, but were also found in deeper offshore environments, showcasing their adaptability to different marine habitats. Despite their fearsome reputation, mosasaurs had moments of tranquility. Territorial disputes between rival males could turn violent, often resulting in fatal confrontations, evidenced by remains showing crushed skulls and broken bones. However, they also participated in social behaviors, such as visiting cleaning stations where smaller fish and shrimp would remove parasites and dead skin. During mating season, male mosasaurs likely displayed vibrant colors to attract potential mates, shedding their skin and revealing hues that would captivate females. The Mosasaurus was not just a predator, it was a remarkable creature that ruled the ancient oceans, embodying the power and mystery of marine life during the late Cretaceous. The Mosasaurus wasn't alone in these deadly seas. Sharing these waters was a creature with an entirely different approach to hunting, the Elasmosaurus. Now, if Mosasaurus was the powerhouse, Elasmosaurus was the stealth hunter. Elasmosaurus was a type of Plesiosaur, but it didn't look anything like the classic image of a bulky sea monster. Instead, it was incredibly long and slender, with a neck that accounted for half its body length, which could reach up to 40 feet. For reference, that's about the size of a school bus. This freakishly neck wasn't just for show, though, it was a weapon. Elasmosaurus would keep most of its body concealed in deeper water, extending its neck upward to the surface where schools of fish and other small prey swam. With a quick lunge, it could snatch its prey with surprising speed. Unlike the Mosasaurus, which relied on brute force, Elasmosaurus used stealth, patience, and a quick strike. Its neck allowed it to strike from a distance, and its streamlined body helped it to remain concealed until the last moment. Picture this, as a fish swimming near the surface, you wouldn't even see the Elasmosaurus until it was too late. In a flash, its head would break through the water, jaws snapping shut before you could even react. But Elasmosaurus wasn't just a hunter, it was also prey. While its neck allowed it to reach unsuspecting prey, it also made it vulnerable to attack from larger predators. A Mosasaurus spotting that long neck snaking through the water would without a doubt be a clear target. So while Elasmosaurus was a master of stealth, it still had to constantly be on guard in a world filled with predators even more powerful than itself. Now let's talk about another terrifying inhabitant of these oceans, Xiphactinus. This isn't a name as well known as Mosasaurus or Elasmosaurus, but it was one of the most ferocious creatures in these waters. Xiphactinus was a massive, predatory fish that could grow up to 20 feet in length. Imagine a fish as big as a small boat, with a mouth that looked more like a bear trap than anything we see today. Its teeth were interlocking, almost like the teeth of a great white shark, but Xiphactinus's teeth were designed for piercing, not just slicing. This fish had an insatiable appetite. Fossil evidence shows that Xiphactinus would swallow prey nearly as large as itself whole. In fact, there are fossils of Xiphactinus with fish stuck inside its stomach or throat, suggesting that it could even choke to death on prey that was too large to digest. This fish was constantly on the hunt, its massive jaws snapping down on anything that crossed its path. But its gluttony was sometimes its downfall. Imagine being so hungry, you'd risk choking to death just to get a bigger meal. That was Xiphactinus, a creature that lived on the edge, constantly pushing the limits of what it could devour. Now I know what you're thinking. What about the most obvious predators of all, the sharks? Well, you'd be right to wonder, because the late Cretaceous oceans weren't just filled with these monstrous fish and reptiles. They were also the home of ancient sharks, ancestors of the sharks we know today. Cretaceous sharks were streamlined, sleek, and incredibly fast. With a strong jaw and sharp teeth, they could tear into flesh with ease. Unlike today, where sharks are often solitary hunters, some species of Cretaceous sharks hunted in packs, prowling the oceans together in a deadly coordinated frenzy. Picture this, you're a smaller fish or reptile, maybe even an injured Mosasaurus, and you spot a shadow darting by, then another, and another. Before you know it, you're surrounded, and the sharks move in for the kill, ripping, tearing, and shredding in a feeding frenzy. In the Cretaceous seas, these sharks were the opportunists, waiting for a moment of vulnerability, a sign of weakness, and then striking with incredible force. Even the largest predators had to respect the sharks, as they had a way of finding and exploiting any weakness in the food chain. Speaking of some of the largest predators, it's also worth mentioning Deinosuchus, a colossal crocodilian that could grow up to 33 feet long. Now, that's not just a big lizard, that's a creature that could make a T-Rex think twice before taking a dip. Unlike today's crocs, which prefer to sit back and relax in the sun waiting for a hapless tourist to toss them a snack, Deinosuchus was the ocean's version of a bodybuilder on a protein binge. This apex predator roamed both freshwater and marine environments, making it a versatile predator. Its jaws were packed with massive, sharp teeth that could crush bones and drag its dinner under the waves without breaking a sweat. Imagine if you were a small dinosaur just enjoying a nice drink at the water's edge and suddenly, bam, here comes Deinosuchus, ready to make a meal out of your afternoon. It wasn't picky about its meals either. Anything from unsuspecting dinosaurs to smaller marine reptiles could easily find themselves on the menu. So picture this giant creature gliding through warm, shallow seas like a giant toothy surfboard ready to launch a surprise attack. Overall, I think we can all agree this creature was a great reason to never want to step foot in the late Cretaceous era. However, if you think the danger ends there, you'd be mistaken. The late Cretaceous oceans were also home to numerous other species of predators, each filling its own unique niche in this deadly ecosystem. For example, you had the swift and agile Ichthyodectids, a family of fast, streamlined fish that hunted in schools, as well as the giant coiled shellfish ammonites that would catch smaller prey with their tentacles. The list goes on. These seas were constantly buzzing with activity. Everywhere you looked, there was something hunting, something evading, something trying to survive. Now, I know you might be tired of hearing about dinosaurs, so let's address another interesting point. It's worth mentioning another contender for the title of Deadliest Ocean of all time. Long before the Cretaceous, there was the Panthalassic Ocean, a vast sea that surrounded the supercontinent Pangaea around 250 million years ago, during the late Permian period. Unlike the Cretaceous, where the danger was in the creatures that lurked within, the Panthalassic Ocean was deadly for a different reason. This ocean experienced massive volcanic eruptions that pumped enormous amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and the water. This created an environment that was nearly inhospitable to life. The water became acidified, making it difficult for creatures to breathe and survive. In the depths of the Panthalassic Ocean, oxygen levels dropped drastically, creating hypoxic or low oxygen zones where anything that ventured too deep would suffocate. Imagine a sea where just swimming into the wrong area could mean death, where the water itself was toxic. In this sense, the Panthalassic Ocean was a death trap of a different kind, a lethal, slow suffocation rather than a quick, violent end. Although the Panthalassic Ocean may not have had the monstrous predators of the Cretaceous, it was still incredibly hostile to life. Its acidic, low-oxygen waters created one of the harshest environments in Earth's history. For creatures in these seas, survival wasn't about avoiding predators, it was about avoiding the very water they lived in. But if we're talking about sheer predatory danger, the Cretaceous oceans take the crown. They were filled with creatures whose only goal was to hunt, kill, and survive. So, what have we learned today? Back in the Cretaceous, the oceans were alive with danger. Each creature adapted to survive in its own way. From the monstrous, powerful Mosasaurus to the stealthy Elasmosaurus to the insatiable Xiphactinus, these creatures transformed the waters into a war zone. The sharks added an extra layer of danger, turning the ocean into a feeding frenzy at the first sign of weakness. And let's not forget the other, smaller predators and scavengers that thrived on whatever was left behind. For 30 million years, the late Cretaceous oceans were the most dangerous environments in Earth's history, unmatched in both size and ferocity of its predators. This wasn't just an ecosystem, it was a survival battleground where every creature had to fight tooth and claw every single day. For anything swimming in those waters, it was truly survival of the fittest. Thank you for watching PaleoPath, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating prehistoric stories.